thank you very much. I do want to ask you a few additional questions. Um, Someone told me one time during the drug time that you actually died. That your heart had stopped beating, or your symptoms had ceased.
And that's absolutely true. I have a lot of stories, so I can be a testimony for a long time.
When it happens, did you? I mean, what does that feel like? What did that do to you?
At that time, I was still polluted in my mind. I was revived by a friend. Everybody else had left me. He didn't. He stayed there, and he revived me, and I'm here today. After that incident, I was very scared at that moment, but it didn't stop me from continuing using drugs.
That the whole drug culture. When people are using certain drugs, it's going to do different things to your bodies.
Right.
Is that ever an issue? I mean, do people actually realize what's happening to them, or is the high just that great?
Well, that's a true question. Yeah, you know what you're going through. What you do is like you put your life in a layaway because you think that I'm going to be able to reach back and get this life back again. But even now, I'm sure that you do damaging things to your body that may take place to me now. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for the grace of God, and I thank Him, I haven't had no kidney problems. I haven't had any kind of problems, and I know a lot of my friends and associates that have went and done the same thing I have are not here, or they're on dialysis, or they're on some other sort of form of negative part of your life. I've been blessed to be able to be like I am now.
A lot of people that we talk with, excuse me, a lot of people that we talk with, they mention these triggers, and discuss how difficult it is to maintain. How have you done that? I mean, there's got to be times. I mean, from what I've read about addictions, that's a hard thing to really break, and oftentimes things happen that call out your name and tries to pull you back. How do you fight it, or have you just totally forgotten about it?
I really want you to listen to this answer. And I'm not opposed to any sort of addiction programs or anything that they have, but I do believe in this in the bottom of my heart. I don't have a calling no more to be a part of a drug life. Okay, now I'll look at different scenarios where before I used to just accept them. I don't accept them no more. And the one thing that I'm going to tell you that's different, I think, from any other walk of removing drugs from your life is that God removed mine. And that makes a difference to me. And I don't know how strong that you can accept that, but because I know what I'm saying from within myself, God took the disease from me. And I haven't had a desire since that day to now to be a part of that lifestyle. And I'm not afraid to go around it no more. It's nothing that's going to influence me no more. I mean, in the Bible, Daniel goes into the lion den. Robert can go into the den and be strong enough to stand firm on what I believe and not be a part of that addiction no more.
And one more thing I want to touch on. You mentioned that you knew that you had this gift, but yet you let the gift lie dormant for a lot of years before you recognized your musical ability. A lot of people do that. Everybody has gifts, but so many times you just take certain things for granted.
You just get complacent.
And how did you, what ignited that, to realize that you did have a gift, and it's your responsibility to develop this gift and become the best that you can become?
My parents, was focusing, and my dad was one of the best organ players around here in this town. I used my gift to keep me high on drugs at one point. So it wasn't never the fact that I got away from playing the piano. I would go to play on Sunday and go to the dope house after church was over. So, because I was being paid for a position like that. And now it's being put in the positive aspect of it. And it's so much more that I can learn as being a musician. I'm what you call a veteran musician. These young guys come up now, they just have all this talent that I'm learning to try to get right now. And I'm not ashamed of what I can do as a musician because I think I can stay with the best of them. But it's so much that you can learn. So The transition of removing the drugs have enhanced my learning and respecting what music really is.
So are you saying that when you're not high, you have a better appreciation for?
I do. Yes. I used to think that I had to smoke a joint to really get deep down into what this note meant. I don't have to do that anymore. I love music playing like I am.
And one more thing else that you touched on in talking about Fort Wayne and the importance of it having a 24-hour gospel channel here. You know, Fort Wayne blacks have been accused for a long time of not getting things done. They're blaming other people, just like you said that you were blaming other people. Why do you think that is? I mean, why? I mean, it goes far beyond music.
It's a covering, if you want to, if that's what you like to call it. We have a strong strength of not being successful in the community, and I blame it a lot on people's jealousies, for people looking at what other people are doing and not looking at what we can do for ourselves. So when people are doing things, instead of people supporting them, they'll look on the negative side of what they can find fault in that instead of being a part of it to help things grow in our community. It's no way in God's earth that we should be struggling to have gospel music on the radio 24/7 with all these churches we have in this community. It shouldn't be.
So you're saying that other cities our size would have their own channels?
Oh, some of them have too. Yeah, smaller than our city, smaller than this city. They have 2 gospel radio stations. So we're just catching up to it, and it's moving along at the pace. I mean, when we first got started doing this, a lot of people thought we would probably be a flyby. But we're successful in what we're doing. And God is going to take us the rest of the way. He said if you be faithful over a few things, he'll make us rulers over many. And that's where we're going with that.
Thank you very much.
God bless you.